You are Locked On Jets POSTCAST, part of Locked On Sports New York on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
The New York Jets have themselves a winning streak as they beat the Cleveland Browns by a final of 27-20 and perhaps building some momentum for the remainder of the season. Welcome in to the Locked On Jets postcast here on the Locked On Jets YouTube channel, on the Locked On Jets podcast feed. I'm your postcast host, Chris Schubert, here with you recapping all things New York Jets right here, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, now the #1 sports podcast network. A good couple of weeks here for the New York Jets. They win their first game against Cincinnati a couple of weeks ago. They get to ride that high, that momentum a little bit into the bye week. And now it is a second straight win. It's a short week before a matchup against New England here on Thursday. But for a Jets team that took a very long time to get their first win this season, they now have picked up 2 in their last 2 games. And it is very fair to ask, are the Jets building some momentum?
This is what you'll be talking about.
I think it's fair to say that for many of us, it wasn't the number of wins. It wasn't this team maybe being a surprise playoff contender late in the season. It was all about seeing progress. It was all about looking at Aaron Glenn, looking at Darren Muji, looking at the state of the Jets roster and feeling like they've picked the right players, they picked the right GM, they picked the right coach, and that arrow is trending upward. And for the first 7 weeks of the season, that arrow wasn't trending upward. It wasn't stagnant. It was trending downward. And all we were asking, at least all I was asking, is give us a sign, give us something that tells us that this is going in the right direction. And they started that with what they did against Cincinnati 2 weeks ago, that big second half comeback where they scored those 23 fourth quarter points. Breece Hall took over, and you're feeling good. Okay, we got the first win of the season. Now we can see how this team stacks. And then you hit a little bit of a speed bump this week because feeling good off of the win, the Jets make these trades. Quinnen Williams is gone. Sauce Gardner is gone. Very clearly a signal to everybody that the Jets are looking more towards the future. They are looking more towards 2026 and 2027. So now what? Are you going to look at these results and fairly evaluate the coach and the GM? Are you going to be able to really see the improvements, if there are any, on the defensive side of the ball because you just traded 2 of your best players? It's a very weird feeling coming into this game. Well, without Quinnen Williams, without Sauce Gardner, plenty of players that stepped up. And now the Jets have won 2 games in a row. And this is where you start to build a culture if you're Aaron Glenn. This is where the buy-in that you're asking from these players starts to manifest itself. You've asked them to trust you. You've asked them to buy into the plan. You've asked them to keep grinding, to keep working. And you did it this week in the face of trading 2 of the faces of your team, 2 of the faces of your defense. That could cause a little uneasiness. And you didn't see that at all from the players here today. Now, I'm not going to try to pretend like today was a perfect game. I'm not going to try to pretend like there isn't stuff that needs to improve. And we'll get to the offense and the room for growth that I think exists there for them, specifically when it comes to the passing game. But how do you not feel good if you are a Jets fan here today? And we all are. It's why you're hanging out with us here on the postcast. 2 wins in a row. Cincinnati's not that great of a team. Cleveland's not that great of a team. They handed the game to you with a couple of penalties late that allowed you to extend drives, but you found a way to win. Justin Fields threw 11 passes in this game. You had nothing going passing the football. Before Garrett Wilson left the game hurt, couldn't get the ball to your #1 wide receiver. Breece Hall, a non-factor in the first half, became a factor in the second half. You did not play one of your best games of offense this season. This was not the offense we saw 2 weeks ago against Cincinnati, yet you still found a way to win, and that's all we're asking for. Okay, now it doesn't have to look the same. You scored 27 points today, and you did not look good on the offensive side of the ball. You made plays happen on special teams. You had a drive, and you got a Breece Hall touchdown when you needed it to, and that's where there's still room for growth. Justin Fields has to throw the ball more, and if that means going in a different direction at quarterbacks to unlock this passing offense, got to see what you have in Arian Smith. Need to have A.D. Mitchell active here moving forward to see what you have. Need to develop Mason Taylor. Need to continue to see what you have in Breece Hall if you're going to choose to extend him or put the tag on him at the end of the season. You have to evaluate this offense because that's what the rest of this season is about. You saw some evaluations on the defensive side. Will McDonald certainly looks like he should be a player here for the long term, but there is still so much room to grow. And that's a great feeling coming out of a victory, that you don't feel like you played your best football, and yet you still came away with a victory. So credit to the entire team for sticking together in this one. Special teams for making plays. We'll talk about them a little bit later on here in the show. The offense, not playing well in that first half, not playing well really the whole game. Had the drive when they needed to get the Breece Hall touchdown. Had the drive to kick the field goal to make it a 2-possession game, which certainly proved to be the difference in this one. Just doing the little things correctly. Didn't crush yourself with penalties, right? Yeah, there were penalties in this game. And yeah, when you trade away Quinn and Williams, and when you trade away Sauce Gardner, and you're playing Thomas, and you're playing like Mozzie Smith, and you have some of your younger players in there, you are going to have mistakes. You are going to have some penalties. You are going to not play perfectly on every defensive series. That's why it's not, I think, fair to this team right now with what they've told us and how they've acted to look at every single one of these drives as this defense is great, this defense is fine, or this defense is a bust, these trades were a mistake, these players that they drafted aren't good. You can't look at it series by series, drive by drive. I don't even think you can look at it game by game, because in the course of this game, there was a lot of good defensively. Will McDonald, certainly. 4 sacks. Jets had 6 sacks in this game. Will McDonald had 4 of them. How many times have we asked the Jets, could you come up with a big sack in a big spot on 3rd and long? Get off the field. Don't allow the other team to extend drives. Will McDonald did that a bunch of times in this game today. Those 3rd down sacks to get off the field, to give your defense, to give your offense the ball back. Playing with a lead, right? We talk about that all the time. So it wasn't all perfect. There's still plenty of room to grow, but that's part of it. You want Thomas out there defensively. You want more out there defensively. And yeah, you're going to have to take some growing pains. You're going to have to take some lumps. There are going to be some times where Thomas gets beat over the top and it's a big play, and you hope that he can grow and develop from that, and that he can use that as a building block here in his rookie campaign. But you have to accept the good with the bad. And when you put the whole picture together in this game today, a lot more good than there was bad, and they found a way to win. And now they can continue to grow. And it helps Aaron Glenn continue to have that great message. Now the message can start to stick a little bit more, because the results are starting to come. And every result that we get like this further makes me believe that they found the right coach. Still not all the way there yet, but it's results like these, it's game like these where you find a way to win. It's raining, downpouring. Your offense isn't playing well in the second half. You do just enough to win the football game. So listen, I'm not going to treat it like it's the Super Bowl. I'm not going to treat it like the Jets are going to the playoffs. But when you start the year 0-7, you get that win, you ride that momentum into the bye week, you trade 2 of your best players on defense. I'm sure many of you were worried, like myself, waking up this morning. How is this Jets team going to look? What's the response going to be? That looked like a team that was still bought in to the vision, to the idea of what Aaron Glenn is trying to sell. So a great job across the board here for this team to find a way to get a victory. I want to talk a little bit more about the special teams. Garrett Wilson gets banged up in this game. We'll talk about Justin Fields and what his future should be like here moving forward. Would love to hear from you as well here on the Locked On Jets postcast. So we'll get to all of that here on the other side.
Today's show is brought to you by our friends over there at Peloton. Look, folks, it's time to break through the busiest time of the year with a brand new Peloton cross-training Tread Plus that's powered by Peloton IQ. It's Peloton's most elevated technology and equipment yet that gives you real-time guidance, and it gives you endless ways to move, whether you want to work out by yourself or if you want to work out with your favorite instructor, like my personal favorite, Alex Toussaint. He always gets me fired up to tackle the day. And the thing I like about Peloton, it helps me achieve more in less times. They have features that help you plan, stay motivated, track your progress, and Peloton IQ also provides personalized workout plans and recommendations. That's something that I use right now during the busiest time of the year covering the NFL. They plan my workouts for me based on my mood, my vibe, and also my favorite instructors. So make sure you check it out and use it, because it also helps you correct your form in real time, and it maximizes your reps. It counts your reps so that you can do it smarter, safer, and more efficient. Let yourself run, lift, flex, push, and go. Explore the new Peloton cross-training Tread Plus at onepeloton.com.
The NBA, it's back, and there is no better place to get in on the action than FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even when you miss the start of the game or you want to ride the hot hand, they've got live bets on everything on who will score next, the fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. Keeps every game exciting, especially when your team is making that late push. Right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So head to FanDuel.com to sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. If you are a business owner, here's the truth. SaaS promised to make work easier, but now the average company is buried by hundreds of apps that slow down your teams and simply don't work together. That's not SaaS, that's SAD, software as a disservice. That's why you need Rippling. Rippling, the unified platform for global HR, payroll, IT, and finance, all in one place. They've helped millions of businesses replace a mess of disconnected tools with one system designed to give leaders clarity, speed, and control. By uniting your employees, teams, and departments in one system, Rippling removes the bottlenecks, busy work, and silos the software you're creating. Everything from onboarding to payroll to IT access runs automatically, and it's perfectly in sync. Whether you want to run your entire HR, IT, and financial operations as one, or just fill the gaps in your software stack, Rippling can do it all. And right now, you can get 6 months free when you go to rippling.com/lockedonnfl. Learn more at rippling.com/lockedonnfl. That's rippling.com/lockedonnfl for 6 months free. Terms and conditions apply. Back here on the Jets Postcast, the Locked On Jets YouTube channel, the Locked On Jets podcast feed, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, now the #1 sports podcast network. And we are recapping the New York Jets picking up their second consecutive victory, a 27-20 win over the Cleveland Browns, where, let's face it, they did not play their best. But when you are a team that doesn't play your best, you got to have those momentum plays. And boy, did the Jets have, I think, at least 3 of them in this game, and they were all touchdowns. The 2 special teams touchdowns, Kene and Nwangwu with a huge return for a touchdown. Then the next opportunity the Jets have to return a kick, it's a punt return from Isaiah Williams. The special teams across the board, let's shout them out. Chris Banjo, the special teams coordinator, boy, does he have a unit. They're punting the ball extremely well. McNamara is an elite punter, probably the best punter in the game right now. Nick Folk, a pair of field goals today. We saw how important that last field goal was. Give the Jets a 2-possession lead, prove to be the difference. And then you get the 2 explosives with your kick returning every phase of special teams. I think sometimes we get caught up offense, defense. There's 3 phases to football, and the Jets are, across the board, one of the best special teams units in the sport right now. And you saw all 3 phases of special teams in this game today. They played the field position game really well. They got the kickoff return touchdown. They got the punt return touchdown. The 2 kicks from Nick Folk, again, across the board, just a perfect performance here. Now, the stuff to keep an eye on. Let's talk about Justin Fields and what his future may look like. I got to be honest with you. I stopped keeping track of the pass number, so I'm going to consult the tab over here. I'm going to go to the other screen to get the exact passing numbers for Justin Fields in this one, because it was ugly. It was not a great performance from Fields. Seemed kind of timid to throw the ball in this game. 6 of 11, the 54 yards. He threw a touchdown, and he threw the interception, and that felt like the turning point. After he threw the pick, and not really sure what he saw, really kind of was zeroed in on Garrett Wilson. It was kind of an easy read from the safety to come down and make a play on that ball for the interception. And then it felt like after that, and yeah, I know it started to rain. They wanted to run the football more, but it felt like after that there was some timidness from Justin Fields. And the broadcast at one point mentioned that, there's not really a whole lot down the field. And as they were going through that, Arian Smith is just streaking wide open on the replay. Like, he's wide open if Fields just lets it rip and throws the ball over the top. Now, it's not the easiest throw in the world. He's got to layer it over the top of a defender and put it out in front for Arian Smith. But this is what I'm talking about when I say there's still room to grow for this team, right? I want to know what the Jets have in Arian Smith, right? His claim to fame, he's a speedy guy. Get him out in space. Not sure he's going to be able to win the 50-50 balls, but he's going to get open deep down the field. And if Justin Fields isn't going to allow us to evaluate what Arian Smith is, then maybe you do need to go to Tyrod Taylor there under center to throw the ball to those guys, right? I know he didn't play in this game, but A.D. Mitchell is going to be a part of this offense. And boy, did the Jets miss A.D. Mitchell in this game. Not a sentence I thought I would utter in the year 2025, but just they put a bottle on Garrett Wilson. And if you have a quarterback who's timid to throw the ball and you have a receiver who is just not getting open, or they're just putting him in a bottle, it's hard to get involved. So you need somebody like A.D. Mitchell, who has some talent, who was a highly drafted receiver for a reason. He might be able to create some space. We'll have to keep an eye on Garrett Wilson, who left this game with an injury, only had the 3 targets in this one, did not come down with a catch. I'm sure Aaron Glenn is updating the media now, or has already updated the media on Garrett Wilson's status moving forward. And depending on it, short week playing on Thursday, not too sure that you're going to have Garrett Wilson in this game. They also had Azaria Thomas leave this game as well with a concussion. So short week there as well. Probably going to lose him for the next game there. Short week in New England on Thursday. So again, Breece Hall had a great game, 21 carries, the 83 yards, the big 42-yard touchdown on the big chunk play on the screen pass. And boy, I mean, I don't know what the future holds for Breece Hall. They didn't trade him, so it makes me think there's at least a somewhat strong possibility that he's back on this team next year. Breece Hall's a difference maker for this offense, and you saw today the difference he can have. And the Jets need players like that on this team as they're building out this offense. So more of that, please. More of that, Breece Hall. More of that performance. And he's had 2 of them in a row. So hopefully they can continue to stack on that. But yeah, Justin Fields did not play well. Now, maybe you ride with the hot hand because you've won 2 in a row and you can allow him to kind of build off of this. And maybe the interception, you can dive into that with him this week on the film. But you're playing New England on Thursday, and we'll use this as kind of a transition point before we get out of here. It's a short week. You're playing in New England on Thursday, and New England just went down, I should say, to Tampa and picked up another win. They're now, 8-2 on the season. They've won 7 games in a row. There's an argument to be made. That's the best team in the AFC. Bills lost today to Miami. The Colts, I know they won this morning against Atlanta, but did not look overly impressive in that game. So New England might be the best team in the AFC. You're going up to face them this week on a short week. It's a tough battle. You're going to be missing some key players potentially. And so it does feel like if it's another bad performance for Justin Fields, that they may switch over to Taylor just so they can see. You want Mason Taylor to develop so that when you go into year 2, he's ready to go. You want to know what you have in Smith. You want to know what you have in A.D. Mitchell when he gets in there. You want to, when he comes back, potentially as early as Thursday, you want Garrett Wilson to be comfortable, to want to be here, to buy into this vision that you're now selling to all of us with what you did this past week in the trade market. So it's a great win. I don't care that it's Cleveland. I don't care. The Jets are 2-7. They played good football today. They found a way to win. How many times do they play this exact game and lose? How many times are they Cleveland and they commit those penalties when you're trying to get a stop to get the ball back? And twice you have them stopped to get the ball back. And you commit that penalty and you extend drives. We've watched it. I mean, we can go back and forth in the chat with plenty of examples of the Jets doing that over the last couple of years. Those plays went their way. They had the big chunk plays. They had the big momentum swings on special teams, and now they can build and grow off of this. So I'm not going to say sorry for it. I'm not going to apologize for the Jets winning a football game. Don't care about the team tank. It's week 9. You want to see this Jets team improve. You want to see a coaching staff that looks like it's improving. And today, I think we saw even more great signs. And I see some people in the chat maybe not particularly happy with Tanner Engstrand today. I'll do a further deep dive in the film this week when the All-22 comes out, but I don't know how much of it is on Engstrand and how much of it is on Fields not executing some stuff in the passing offense. So we'll have to see, and it's going to be a big test for them this week on a short week, how they prepare for the New England Patriots. But that's going to do it for us here on the Jets Postcast, right here on the Locked On Jets YouTube channel, the Locked On Jets podcast feed. As the Jets pick up their 2nd consecutive victory. They go into the bye. We had 2 weeks of some positive momentum. They came out of the bye, and they built on that momentum with a 27-20 win at home. It's now a quick turnaround, a short week. We're back on Thursday, right after the Jets finish up against the New England Patriots, to recap it all here on the Jets Postcast. Do me a favor, if you are new to us hanging out here on the Jets Postcast, don't worry, John's not going anywhere. He's got you covered Monday through Friday. These are your hangout spots. The Jets Postcast, your instant reaction hangout after the Jets finish up. We'll be back again on Thursday to break it down. So do me a favor, subscribe, turn on that notification bell so that you're notified when we go live after the Jets conclude each and every week of the NFL season. The Jets pick up another victory, 2 in a row, now 2-7, as their defense, Will McDonald with a huge game. Special teams come up with a couple of big plays, 2 touchdowns via special teams in this one, and it does certainly look like the Jets are building some momentum. Have a good one, Jets fans.